Something that a lot of us hear is that the new moon is looked for by witnesses in the Bible. That's how they found the new moon. There were witnesses looking for a sliver to sight the new moon because it's hidden, and at a certain point a piece of it comes out, and so they sight it and they tell everybody, hey, look, it's the new moon. We've all been told that out here. But the funny thing is, that is not in the Bible. That is in modern Judaism. There is nowhere in our Bibles where it says that these witnesses are staring at the moon, or at least where they believe it's going to pop out at. And then when it pops out, they say it's the new moon. And then they go tell everybody. All that is traditions from modern Judaism. This is so amazing. Watch this. Titus 1:14, KJV. Not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. Now, this is the one verse in the New Testament that warns about Jewish fables. And this is Titus 1:14. And we're talking about a fable of when the new moon is. Now look at that. Titus 1:14. You know what 1:14 is? Genesis 1:14. You see the 1:14 again? KJV. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. Oh, the sun and the moon and the stars. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. How amazing is that? Genesis 1:14, directly connected to Titus 1:14. And we're dealing with the Jewish fable here of when the new moon is. It was pretty surprising to me to think that that whole story about witnesses looking for the sliver of the new moon was actually in the Bible. I've thought that for years now. And I was rudely talked to a few minutes ago and about this. And so I decided to look it up, and to my surprise, to my acknowledgement, that there is no such story of witnesses looking for a sliver moon in the Bible. Going back to Titus 1:14, where it says not giving heed to Jewish. They're just ish today. Just ish. Because the real bloodline of the Jews, well, I've talked about that. Now, this is what we do have in the Bible. And I'll say Bibles, plural. Let's just go down the list. Psalm 81, verse 3. English Standard Version. Blow the trumpet at the new moon, comma, at the full moon on our feast day. American Standard Version. Blow the trumpet at the new moon, at the full moon on our feast day. Berean Study Bible. Sound the ram's horn at the new moon and at the full moon on the day of our feast. What kind of and is that? The connecting and, or is a separating and? That could be an argument for a person. Dewey Reams Bible. Blow up the trumpet on the new moon on the noted day of your solemnity. Okay. English Revised Version. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon at the full moon on our solemn feast day. King James. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed on our solemn feast days. That word appointed is kasa in the Strong's Concordance, and it is full moon. Here I am busting out the old school Strong's Concordance to show that word appointed in that particular verse, Psalm 81, verse 3, in the KJV. It's right here. Okay, Psalm. See that? PS. Hold on. PS for Psalm. And then verse 81, 3. Okay, you can kind of see it. 81:3, Psalm 81:3 right there, right? And it's number 3677 in the Hebrew. H3677. Here we go. And here we are, H3677. The word is kasa, apparently from 3680 properly, fullness or the full moon, i.e. its festival, appointed, time appointed. There you go, especially if you're KJV only. World English Bible, blow the trumpet at the new moon, at the full moon, on our solemn feast day. Young's literal translation, a lot of people like that. Blow in the month a trumpet in the new moon at the day of our festival. So there's one here that somebody could use and say, see, it says and, but it could be a connecting and that's only one out of all of them. And God can use the silver moon as well. Not saying that because he uses all things for his purpose. But technically, all we really have is the full moon, if we want to get down to the brass tacks, for the new moon in the Bibles, plural. Nothing even close, like sliver moon or any word phrasing like that. It's not even in the Bible. It's not even mentioned like that in the Bible, or people looking for the sliver. It's not in the Bible at all. I mean, it's all modern Judaism, fables, traditions of men. It's not all that wording that they do. People looking for a sliver and, and then they warn people and all that stuff. No, none of that is in the Bible. And of course, always feel free to look it up because it's not there. It's all modern Judaism, traditions of men.